Aloha. Welcome back to the SANDCAST, brought to you by Wilson, Pacific Coast Wealth Management, and also Firefly. We're here in the studio looking over the beautiful Manhattan Beach, as you can see.
Where we're going to be playing this weekend. And I will not be playing.
Where I'm going to be watching this weekend. Watching Travis play automatic main draw. Congrats.
Straight in.
Yeah.
And Brandie Wilkerson, who
also
is our...
sneaking into the main draw.
She snuck in the main draw with a pretty legit partner, by the way.
Yeah.
Stole,
not a bad scoop with Sarah.
Stole Sarah Hughes.
I feel like I'm pretty lucky with my scoops.
Yeah, you've got some pretty good partners just jumping on the AVP. Welcome to the show, first of all.
Thanks.
Can't believe it's taken so long to get you on.
I know. That's mostly my fault. Travis, you've been on it.
Well, I feel bad for bugging people to come on, but I'm just like, all right, well, she's in town. Like, we should try to get her on.
I feel bad that I'm like, yeah, for sure, and then like disappear for months. But
You are slightly busy.
That's how I've been too. I've been disappearing for months from the show,
Yeah.
and
right.
somehow we've been making it work from afar.
It's just been me and Bentley.
Yeah. Well, I was gonna bring the Zoom overseas, but I'm kind of worthless once I go on the road.
Dude, it's hard. I never realized like how hard it was to like find downtime during tournaments, because I was like, I went to a Norseka and I actually brought the Zoom, and I was gonna like do one from there, and I was like, I just don't have the energy to do one after playing and then like rolling out and stretching and then playing and then doing that over again. I just want to like go to bed.
And then if I do have the energy, then like Brandie might not.
Sure. Yeah,
You know?
yeah.
She's like after a match, going deep in the tournament, like, hey, want to do like an hour-long interview?
I know people get so weird
no.
about their time. They're like, oh wait, 5 minutes you need? No, I can't even spare that. Like I need to be in my room or something.
Yeah.
You know, like
yeah.
I need to use that to watch my TV show or something.
I don't start Netflix at 8 then.
I get it though.
And so many people too, like with volleyball, like as soon as they're done playing, like the last thing they want to talk about is more volleyball. Yeah, I found that with a lot of people, and then like I'm just like such a nerd that like that's all I ever want to talk about. It's like I never have the problem.
Well, you missed the first like 20 years of your life, 25, 24 years of your life with volleyball.
Yeah.
So now you're just making.
I'm just like a little kid.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you picked up volleyball late-ish too, right?
Yeah. I guess I started indoor in university, so.
Oh, really? At university?
Yeah.
What?
And then beach I started maybe 2011, 12.
Dang.
Yeah.
Back on the Norseka tour?
Yeah.
I think I went to a Norseka or two with you, right?
Yeah. Actually, my first FIVB, when was that? It was the one that was in Argentina when I played with my first partner, and that's where I met Trevor and Adam Roberts.
Yep.
That was his. So like since then we kind of both been like, oh, you're still here, nice. So
doing pretty well.
but yeah, that was probably my first one. Yeah.
It's crazy to see how quickly you Canadians in general, because I remember Mel, same thing, like we were kind of like at the Norseka level, and then all of a sudden last 2 years you and her
well,
got the right
Mel, I
partners,
feel like she's been on the right path for so well. Like I'm really happy for how things have been going. Like she's been playing since forever, and she's kind of done all these big games, and she's put in so much work that I kind of like, it's not abnormal that she's doing that well. That I'm like, good for you. You know, you stayed on track. And
everything kind of lined up.
Yeah. So that's good.
It certainly helps to get the right partners. Like both of you got the partners that you needed, I feel like, at the right time.
Yeah, totally. And I think we both worked really hard to kind of aspire to be playing with those people. And her and I, when we had the opportunity to be their alternates at the 2016 Olympics, that really opened the door and kind of was like that pivotal bit for both of our careers, especially mine, seeing how I didn't even know anything about beach volleyball, the Olympics, just the Olympics before.
Right.
So, and then the next ones I was there. And then I was like, oh, okay. So, and then these ones I'm like trying to go to. So it's definitely changed a lot, my perspectives from those quads. So.
That's a quick growth.
I guess. It doesn't feel like it because it's like 4 years per tournament. Right. But I guess from where London was, where it was the first time I'd seen beach volleyball, to going to Rio, to trying to participate, I guess it's been pretty quick.
Did you just like dive into it then? Like when you found beach volleyball, was it just kind of one of those things where you're like, oh, like this is new and it's combining like all of these sports that I grew up playing, except it's on a beach?
Yeah, totally. Is that how you felt? Is that why you know that?
Yeah. I figured because I feel like we have similar backgrounds. That you probably played like every sport under the sun. Like I saw that you won a rugby championship in high school.
I was not going to play volleyball to play rugby. My mom was like so against it though. She's like, people die in that sport. But like, I loved it. I loved rugby. Yeah.
No way.
I still love it. I still follow it. And like,
they just started a pro league here in the U.S., right?
Yeah.
And it's growing pretty big. I just talked to one of the coaches the other day.
Are they recruiting you?
No. I know him. It's a mutual family friend. But he's telling me that like serious like players from Europe and all over the world are actually coming to the U.S. league.
That's awesome.
No idea.
I'm like, well, I hope they don't get bigger than beach volleyball. Like,
no, get out of our limelight. Yeah.
We need less sports. Go back to Europe.
Yeah. Totally.
No, there's plenty of space, but that's such a cool sport and so random. You're for sure the only beach volleyball player that came from rugby.
It's quite the transition.
Yeah, I guess. Now you hear it out loud, it sounds even weirder.
I thought it was. You said you were the alternate for the Olympics. I'm pretty sure I was the alternate too, but we just didn't have that. Like,
okay.
Nobody acknowledged that.
Yeah.
Did Canada actually fly you out to the Olympics?
So it was like Heather and Sarah's funding and choice to bring a training team in. So they kind of had picked some athletes and technically we're their alternate, but obviously there was we didn't want that situation to ever happen. Yeah. So we were just there to kind of help them and train with them, and I felt like it was a huge honor to support fellow Canadians in that sense, and it was exciting. Like we would do video with them, we would act as the other team, we would help the guys out too. I think Mel and I would go for like 4 practices a day. Like they worked us. Like every team, we were at everyone's disposal. But as much as we were like practicing all the time and running around, it was just so cool to have that kind of behind the scenes and get as close as we could. We practiced on the center court once, so that was also awesome. But
that's so cool.
You guys are probably more prepped than any other team.
I know, we're ready. We've been doing video.
Yeah. I mean, really though, like going to the Olympics, you can't really have any better preparation than like without actually being played in Rio. Yeah. You can't have any better prep than that. Like,
definitely
God, I wish they would have done that for us. They didn't even name an alternate or I mean, we were the 3rd team when we qualified, so I'm assuming we would have been the alternate.
Right.
But like
would you like and some people didn't even like are too competitive and like don't want to do that or whatever, right? Like I don't know, it depends, right? Exactly.
I would have gone in
or it's tough to go and know that you could have been there or whatever. Right. So maybe it's not always the easiest thing to do.
Hayden wouldn't have gone. I would have been the alternate defender and blocker. But like if they would have flown me out just to help out and like be there, I would have been stoked. Yeah. And I feel like I'd be in better position to play this time around. But good for you guys.
Thanks.
Smart.
No, I think I needed it because I'd never played a multi-sport game. I know we were talking about that, like just the opportunity you get to be with all these countries and have these opening ceremonies or stay in a village and get the kit. Like I've never done anything like that. So I was like, okay, I guess the first and only one I'll be able to do is the Olympics, which is what you aspire to do. But it was kind of cool to get that taste.
And did you get like the player pass? You're in the village and all that?
No, we were in the village, but like our team, Canada, didn't end up staying in the village anyways. It was too far from so we stayed across the street with the other, with all the other athletes. But I think part of me like didn't want to be in the village either because I was like, I want to earn it. Yeah, so totally. It's like, you know what, I'll get there myself. But we got like stadium entrance. We'd sneak into games, like do whatever they were doing.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And other sports?
We only had time to go see indoor volleyball.
Okay.
Because we knew the guys. But
Canada, didn't they beat the U.S. early on? Or almost beat?
I know they were doing really well. I think that's why we won.
Like,
they beat the U.S. early, and the U.S. was like on their heels, freaking out. Like, damn it, we lost to Canada. Yeah. No offense. And then they came back. But yeah, that would have been a good match to watch.
Yeah. So it was good to be there. But they did have like these houses, like every country had their own house, and they would have ceremonies or parties or family things. So we got to visit a lot of those, and that was pretty cool too. Meet a lot of athletes. And
that's so rad.
Yeah.
Did you get to do any of that stuff in Tokyo at the test event? Like to see where things were going to be and all that?
Well, we wanted to, because I heard the village was only like 30 minutes away, but then it was like 30 minutes away, and then one of the days we played 3 games, so we were just either mentally prepping for that or recovering the next day. So but we got to know the area really well because the hotel was across the street from where the venue was, and it was nice to it kind of had like this bit of a hill, so I would just stand at the hill and just like visualize it all, talk to the directors, like everyone was just so stoked about the event.
You go to the top of the hotel and look out from that lounge or whatever. Yeah. That was pretty cool. It was a super cool view of all of Tokyo.
Yeah.
It was rad. Oh, the U.S. took us for one night to like the USA House and where it would be. And we met really cool. Like the people who run the place, and then all the I guess members of the club. They're all like rich people that live in Japan, I guess. And we like met with them, had like a little mingling party, and like they're all gonna help us out, I guess, once it starts. So.
Yeah,
it's awesome.
Yeah, that's cool.
That's so cool.
I feel like that was probably like a pretty inspiring event to go to, especially like this late in the season when everybody's probably batting like a little bit of burnout and like everything hurts, and then you see like what you're working for. I feel like that was probably a nice like refresher to be like, okay, well this is what we're working for in exactly a year.
Yeah, exactly. And to be like, this the next time I'm on this spot, and even more so like winning a medal and standing on the podium, and it's just like night and it's happening, and you're just like, this is the feeling I want to feel again.
Totally.
Yeah.
And I think that was that extra boost. Exactly.
Yeah. So. But the venue was pretty underwhelming.
Yeah.
Right?
Like, I didn't want to say it because I was so excited.
I know. It's like, that's
I was
it?
like, oh.
But, I mean, they hadn't built it yet. So we were playing on the lot, which is kind of cool.
It's kind of
feels
like a park.
Small. Yeah, it's like a little park near the water. I think it'll look cool once there's a sick stadium built in there.
And it's just like so close to the water that you won't notice that it's kind of random.
Yeah.
Or that the view is pretty random.
I think that's how like a lot of events are. Like AVP San Francisco, the pictures look so good, and then when you're there, you're like, oh, I'm in a parking lot.
Yeah.
You can't actually see the parking lot in the pictures because the bridge is there, and like the photographers do a great job.
Exactly.
Right. You zoom in the right way.
Looks like you're just right on the water.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
That's all you need.
Yeah, but it was pretty cool, I thought, being in Tokyo.
And the weather and everything, too.
Weather was hot.
And it was windy, too, which I don't think we expected it to be super hot and super windy.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we'll see.
I don't know anything about Tokyo. I just know that everybody says it's an awesome city.
Yeah.
I have like no idea what it's actually like over there, though.
It's cool.
Did you venture around, like, for fun?
I mean, we went out and had sushi, like, and went down where, I don't know, people were just dancing in the street, like, doing these, like, everyone knew the same dance somehow.
Like a choreographed dance in the middle of the street?
Somewhat, yeah.
Whoa.
Like a whole block. Paula Crab, the Crab's mom, jumped in on it. She was trying to figure out what they were doing.
That's amazing.
But we, you just had authentic sushi, walked around it. I had been there before because we played in Yokohama, and Gabby and I went down and hung out in Tokyo for a few days. But yeah, other than that, we just went to that mall that everyone went to.
Yeah, those two, like, giant malls.
You know who loves Tokyo is the McNamara's.
Yeah?
Because they're such big foodies, and I guess Tokyo is like a great food spot.
It really is.
But they went I remember when we had them on, they were talking about how they went like 2 hours out of their way from an event to go get like some pizza that they saw in a documentary on Netflix.
Of course.
Japanese
That's
pizza?
worth it.
I guess so,
I heard pizza's really good in Japan.
Really?
Yeah, it's like up there with sushi.
So if you're looking for food recommendations around the world, the McNamara's. Like,
I'm sure. I mean, 2 hours, you're committed.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I would do that for a nail salon.
On another note.
Yeah. No, Tokyo's awesome. My uncle lives there, so he came to visit and took us out for sushi and stuff too. So
nice.
That's awesome.
To have a little family time.
Any nail salons?
You know what? There were so many ridiculous nail salons. I was like, I'm coming back with Hello Kitty on my nail for sure. But
that's what I look forward to traveling to. Same.
For sure, won't regret that.
Oh my god.
We are going to take a quick second to pause for a commercial break from our sponsors who keep the show moving forward as always, as do you, the listeners. You guys are by far the most important part of this show. Just wanted to give a huge thank you to everyone who always says hi at the beach and says thanks for the show, thanks for all the information for putting it out. And honestly, I almost feel bad taking gratitude and thanks because it's just a blast. It's an absolute blast for me and Try to just talk volley, and it's an absolute blast to know that you guys are listening. So a huge thank you to you guys, the listeners. You are the reason that we do the show in the first place and the reason that it keeps going on. Another big reason is the fact that you are still supporting our sponsors. One of our favorites, obviously, the ball maker of them all, Wilson Volleyball. The AVP plays with it. The CBVA plays with it. The college girls play with it. Everyone plays with Wilson Volleyball except for the FIVB who uses a Mikasa, but we're not going to worry about that for now because for now, it's the end of AVP season, which means that your balls are probably a little bit beat up and that you probably need some replacements. So order some at wilsonvolleyball.com and use our discount code WilsonSand for 20% off. All right, that'll get you a bunch of new volleyballs that you'll need heading into the off season at the end of season here as it winds down. Our next sponsor. Now, all the Beats players listen to this. You need something to do with all your prize money. Might as well go over to Pacific Coast Wealth Management. Hit up our guys over there. They can help you out with a retirement portfolio. They can put your money in all the right spots. They're great guys. They know beach volleyball. They're the ones who help put on the Laguna Beach Open. So hit up our guys at Pacific Coast Wealth Management and talk to them about your finances today. And last but certainly not least of our sponsors, we have Firefly Recovery. And God bless those guys at Firefly because they are the only reason that my knees are still intact at this point in the season. Travel, it isn't just a pain to travel anymore. You can actually recover while you travel. You can just strap them on your knees, and it moves the blood flow around. So when you step off the plane, you're not all stiff, and you don't need a full day or two to get ready to play. You are just ready to rock and roll as soon as you step off the plane. If you are an office worker, you can slap those things on while you're in the office, and it'll go. I've gotten a lot of messages about Firefly and how great they are, so give them a try today at Firefly Recovery. And now, back to the show.
Do you have family, like, all over? Because I know that you grew up in Switzerland, right, for a little bit, and then you moved to Canada.
Yeah.
And then you mentioned you had, an uncle in Japan?
Tokyo.
Okay.
Yeah. I really do have family everywhere.
Interesting.
Yeah. Being born there, all my family's in Switzerland, and my dad has lived there my whole life because he played pro after playing in the States in Switzerland, and then my uncle played in Japan after playing. So they both just kind of stayed wherever they played pro.
Well, did your uncle play volleyball or basketball?
Basketball.
Okay.
Yeah.
They're both basketball.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
And then the rest of my family's in Texas or like other random states. And then Canada, I guess. And then I just look it up quickly if I go to a country. Do I know anyone here?
Let me dig through the family tree.
Uncle Joe. What do you know?
We're doing in Norway. It's so random. I love it though. That's my family though. We're very spread out, which makes it easy for me to do this because I don't feel like I'm constantly missing my family. I miss them all the time. I think about them all the time, but it's not in the way where we need to physically be next to each other all the time. So you
guys somehow managed to stay pretty tight.
Yeah. And my mom's also a flight attendant, so she randomly will have layovers where I am. She's going to be here on Friday because she has a layover, and she's like, "Oh, you're playing beauty? I'll come." That's about as I see her more often when in those cases than in Canada because things get so busy.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's interesting. Makes it work.
When you have downtime, where Canada, I'm assuming is home.
Yeah.
Okay.
In Toronto,
so that's where you kind of go in off season and you get to hang out for a little bit.
Yeah, here or in Toronto. Yeah.
Okay, that's cool that you have a bunch of different places you can call home though.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Doing this event, we didn't do Moscow. We were just going to take a break, and then I was like, "Oh, I'm playing AVP," and they're like, okay, a break. But
it's a mental
really,
break.
Yeah. It doesn't feel like, it's not nearly the same thing like flying to Europe.
Yeah.
Prepping for all those days, playing this long event versus coming here that feels like home, seeing people that I know, like going to the places I need to go, getting brothers for breakfast, and then, you know, going to this beach that's very familiar.
And it's kind of house money, like, you know, you get the main draw, you get a new partner. You're not supposed to win with a new partner, even though you almost did last time.
I think a lot of people would have been pretty upset if I won.
Yeah, for sure. But you wouldn't.
Definitely not.
You'd love that.
I feel like tournaments like this are super important, though, if you're going for the Olympics, which is such a crazy grind, just watching, like, how you guys travel from all the way across the country. And like Traz mentioned a couple times, that the World Tour, it's not like, it doesn't make sense geographically, where you're just like going around the world. You're just like going from here to there to there to there.
Totally.
And like, they don't really
it's
care
like abusive
about
on the
our
body.
well-being too much.
To just have like a fun tournament, like, not that you and Sarah like don't want to win, you're not gonna be competitive, but like there's just no pressure at all. Whereas like you're gunning for the Olympics, and there's always so much on the line for every tournament. I feel like these are super important to have.
Yeah, no, that's totally spot on. It's nice to be able to play volleyball competitively without feeling like your life is on the line.
Mm-hmm.
While that's definitely something that allows me to play well on tour, I think doing that all the time, we don't have a tour in Canada, so any volleyball we do play, it's on FIVB. So whatever games we're getting is whatever we're getting on tour, whether it's in the off season or during the season. So it's pretty intense, it's pretty aggressive. I think it makes us have some thick skin and, you know, work hard, but might as well use my passports if I have them and just have some fun, you know. And it's so competitive here. Like all the athletes here are going to push you in the same way. It's just different expectations. Yeah.
And there's more expectation when you've flown there too. You know, you're like, I don't want to fly across the world to play 2 matches and go home. That it's kind of like playing in a qualifier. You know, you just. That's way more scary than like a main draw.
Oh, for sure. There's so much more pressure on it when you like fly somewhere like to New York City, like kind of across the country. You guys are going across the world, but and you're like, I could be 1 match and like that's it. Like it sucks to have that pressure.
That's kind of what the World Tour is like at all times.
But I mean, qualifier, that's like a different
qualifiers
world.
How about like country quota in like Moscow?
I've done country quota in Moscow and lost. It was the worst. Oh my god, it was the worst. But I've also only been there once.
You get to just take off this Moscow then. We're automatic main draw. Don't even need you, Moscow.
Exactly. I'm out of time to change.
There's for sure a reason. Me too. I think Moscow, we weren't going to go. We were going to play Manhattan either way.
Okay.
But I think subconsciously I just didn't want to go back there. Last time I played there...
just so scarred.
Last time I played there, it was like the last event of Olympic qualification, and we had to like get a podium at least, and we got like a 9th, I think, playing Bruno and Alison Stadium. Tough draw at that time. And I yanked the net, and it like... A play went by, and then a whole play later, like the whole thing snapped.
You gotta find the video.
And
it blew up.
Just in the middle of the game.
And they had to bring in a whole new net system, and it was like 30-minute delay. And then I came back out on the court, and they just gave me a red card right away. And then I got fined.
Are you kidding me?
Because it's stadium court, so I got fined like $2,500 or something.
No way.
And I lost my Olympic bid, and I was out of the tournament, and it was in Moscow.
Okay, you win at how horrible
you gotta stop
Moscow
abusing
could
net
be.
systems, man. You pull a net down, you like get red carded. Next time you punch one, you
got
break
so
your
much
hand.
attention for that. No one's been
Why is it
replaying
not working for you?
I thought it would be a social media stunt.
The video from that's so funny. Like Alison is just like, he almost looks like a parent where he's like, I'm not mad, I'm just really disappointed. He's just like sad.
I totally believe that. Oh my gosh.
Well, yeah. I mean, I have somewhat mutual respect for him. I could see that. I'm just being like... And they were winning everything in that time.
Oh, yeah. I mean, that was when they were just like killing it.
Yeah. But actually, that match, Alison was pissed at Sean Scott, who's our delegate in the U.S., because Sean was throwing out huge chi-hoos at me, like, you know, like in Hawaii, you go,
and he was getting
Yeah.
super loud. Because he kind of, I think he felt bad for me. It was like, come on, try to lash. Like, he knew how much was on it.
Push.
And then Alisson thought, or like, whatever, he got super pissed at Sean. So every time he got a kill after that, he was looking at Sean.
Oh my God.
And Sean's like, oh shit.
Oh,
Pissed off the wrong guy.
Yeah. Big dude.
Yeah, I was just saying, kind of massive.
Yeah, there's a lot going on that tournament.
Oh my gosh.
So we
that's
avoid
intense.
Moscow, I guess.
Yeah, at least for one more year.
Bottom line.
One more year.
Yeah, please.
Oh,
Man, what a journey you've been on.
yeah.
Yeah,
Really.
you too, though. I mean, both of you guys have been, like, the last couple years.
If you're on the world tour, you've been on a journey.
Yeah,
You're still playing beach volleyball.
Yeah.
You've been on a journey.
Yeah.
I mean, when you picked it up, when you started playing beach, did you view it as, like, a career move or just something that you just, like, wanted to start doing and just see where it was going to take you?
Yeah, I definitely didn't see sports as a career.
Yeah.
So beach volleyball was kind of something that actually like an ex-boyfriend had told me to play and pushed me, and then just was playing. And because it was so challenging, playing so many sports growing up and kind of just like getting it, and then I was playing beach and I was like, oh, whoa, there's a lot more going on here. And I was kind of attracted to that challenge. And I think with any competitive athlete, you just want to prove to yourself that you can do it. So I kept raising the bar, and then you kind of like look up and you're like, oh, I'm doing this full time now. And then I kind of knew, especially in Canada, if you're going to make money, if you're going to do this full time, you need to be in the top 10.
Right.
And so I kind of set that bar, being like, if I can do that, then I'll keep playing, and if not, I need to be realistic.
Yeah.
So yeah, I was pretty surprised by like last year, 2 years ago, when it was kind of just like, I'm stable doing this, and this is pretty crazy. I never thought I would be here, and that's kind of just been the whole theme of my whole beach volleyball. It's like I never pictured myself here. I just knew I wanted to challenge myself and accomplish a goal, and then it was like little goal, little goal, little goal, and the next you know, your goal is the Olympics. It's like, when did we get here?
That's awesome.
So yeah, I feel extremely blessed now. I mean, I had times where I was debating switching countries because it's so difficult to be successful in Canada, and I also had so many other interests that I was like, I can make a real living. I want to help people. I want to impact the environment. I can't do that just playing sports.
Right.
And so I had some internal conflict about that and morally what I wanted to stand for. But I feel like if I have an opportunity to be young and physical and have this chance that so many people don't, then I'd be silly to give it up and then kind of grow old doing all the other things I can do. So that's kind of my piece with it.
Yeah, we only have like a certain window, right? Where we can actually play sports.
Yeah.
Have you thought, or have you come up with any remedies in terms of like, I mean, you actually can make a decent impact while you're playing because we actually have that voice while we're playing, you know? Being an athlete gives you a voice. I've been thinking about that. Like, I haven't really tied myself in with any, what do you call it? I don't know. Like anything, you know.
Like philanthropic.
Yeah, exactly. But I'd like to.
Yes.
And I think we do have the ability to.
Yes.
Even probably more so than if we weren't playing.
Honestly, yeah.
But I haven't really come up with anything. Have you?
Yeah, I have a lot of
Or do you
ideas.
work with any organizations or anything like that yet?
I volunteer when I'm home with the Boys and Girls Club that I used to go to when I immigrated to Canada. My family was extremely poor and didn't have time to take care of me, and I went and we lived in a really like ghetto neighborhood, and I went to this camp all the time, and I was very shy, mostly because I speak English, but it was kind of like I remembered that camp vividly. So I've come back to volunteer, and they kind of want to take me on as kind of like someone that's come out of this camp and they can do things.
Totally.
And that's kind of hit home. I realized how sympathetic I am to people who may not have the opportunities or that foot in the door like a lot of others, but to be able to still make something out of it and to create that yourself. I think I was driven by a lot of my passions and took the bus for 2 hours to get to a better school, or went and stayed for a couple hours after school in the fucking calf. and
You're allowed to swear.
Sorry.
It's a podcast.
In the calf to play on a better club team or like have a coach drive me, like you have to make it work, but it doesn't mean that it won't happen for you. So kind of telling my story there and whatever face that may be, whether it's someone that looks like me that's multicultural or is a minority or not, obviously has a special place in my heart because that's my story. But if I could help any young girl, woman, kid, I am really interested in that. And as well as environmentally, I'm a vegetarian because I believe in, leaving the world a better place. So I'd love to do that after. But I totally agree. I think when I first started, I took advantage of the fact that we only have a certain window to play. And then I realized, okay, we have a voice now. We can make a voice out of this, and we can make a difference. So I'm trying to work on having a decent platform first, and then be like, does anyone even care what I have to say?
Right.
So we'll see.
It's tricky, balancing your time and your focus, because you're I got to focus really hard to become the best player so that I can have a bigger voice.
Yes.
But at what point do you start focusing on the other stuff too, and not all on being a better player?
Yeah.
So I've kind of trying to figure that out. But now I'm having a kid, so it's a whole nother
that's another
thing to take care of.
So exciting.
Barely take care of myself. Jeez. This should be interesting.
Podcast with Anna on Monday.
Oh yeah.
He had an IV in one arm. He had a cast on the other.
And she's
doing great, guys.
She's
Great.
She's calling me out the whole time. She had no mercy.
The doctor was coming in and checking on him every time.
Do I need to take a break?
Is he alive? He's still talking.
Still getting beat up
the
by
neck's
Anna.
moving.
And the world tour still wants to just send us on the wild goose chase around the world. I could use some sleep here, guys.
We suffered enough. That's cool though.
I feel like with how difficult the world tour is, though, once you get that goal, making it to the Olympics, you can look back and be like, I did that. That's pretty crazy.
Totally.
A 45-hour trip, which is still incredible.
I can't believe you guys did that.
We
saw that and we're like,
crazy.
Yeah. You were smart. Well, Trevor upgraded himself. It was good for us. We got 2 top 5 finishes. Oh, of course. And he put it all over Instagram. Oh, by the way,
you're not classy, right?
Trevor, you made $4,000 and you spent $4,500 to get to your next event.
Who's winning here?
Who's winning, dude?
The airline.
You're still sitting on an airplane for friggin' 2 days.
That was insane. I was watching everyone's stories and they're just like, timer's on. It's been.
Yeah, exactly. Trev was trying to Instagram me in economy the whole time. Look, everyone, try sitting back there.
Look at what poor people do.
Look at this poor guy back there. What a loser.
Stafford gets it the worst from Trevor for whatever reason. He's just like, staff, let me, are you passing on your way to economy?
Yeah, exactly.
The simple pleasures of traveling.
Oh my God.
Just hold on to those things.
That is true though. Imagine going to another job and talking to people who are like, I drive an hour to work every day. I'm like, an hour?
Sounds
so you
great.
Just throw on the SANDCAST for an hour every morning? Sounds amazing.
You're welcome.
My knee gets a little sore. Dude, try getting full body cramps in the back, while a kid's yelling in your ear.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
I think about that constantly because I'm tall, but the guys, I'm always guys, that's nuts. Anytime we're in a small room or even going to Japan, they're warning us the beds are going to be this big, and just anything. And
or
I'm
this
this
hard.
is awful, but I'm thinking of every guy on tour.
Yeah.
I don't know how you guys do it.
Yeah, well, Ryan Doherty was funny when we had him on. He's just sometimes you just have to give a really sympathetic look, and they'll give you the extra.
That would be his play. I feel like he's mastered that.
Puppy dog.
That guy's classic with his one-liners. When people just comment about his height, he's got a perfect one-line response for everyone.
It's like, he's heard it for so long.
Oh my God, my boyfriend's like 6'11", so
I
I have to be around him
the
all
other
the
week when he came in town for Hermosa.
Yes, he would have played here, but we have our nationals, so.
Yeah, so he's got a green card too?
No, his
or whatever
dad's
it's
American,
called?
so he
So
has his citizenship.
dual citizenship?
Yeah.
What do you mean by nationals? Is it beach?
Yeah,
Okay.
like our national, like, end of the year tournament.
Okay.
Was it that Van Open?
That was just like a random one-off event.
Oh.
Okay.
Yeah.
So how was you said there's no like domestic tour though, right?
No.
So is it just like, is nationals just like a free for all? Like everyone sign up?
Yes.
So it's like it's like Canada's Manhattan Open sort of?
Yeah.
Okay.
Exactly. Except it's like, so in the province of Ontario, we have the OVA, which has their weekend tour, which is mostly younger kids. So hundreds of kids come to the beach every weekend to play these tournaments. But you won't find like any of the FIVB players playing.
Yeah.
And then there's provincials, so those same guys come up, but like some of the, Team Canada guys will show up because it's like, oh, easy, like $5,000 or whatever you want to win. Mm-hmm. And then from there's our nationals, which opens up then to the entire country. So people from all over the country will fly down to wherever it is and play that.
Awesome.
Unfortunately, not a lot of our senior athletes would play in it. Like the timing's kind of off and the money's not great and the competition's not nearly as competitive because it's just mostly developmental athletes, but hopefully someday we'll play it and it'll get better and we'll have a tour. So.
Well, your grassroots must be doing something right because like Canada's like it's coming up fast.
Really.
I was gonna ask like how one gets into beach volleyball in Canada because like you just don't associate the two immediately very often.
Definitely not.
So I was curious like how the grassroots is, but it sounds like those little weekend tournaments do pretty well.
Yeah, so there's our beach where we train in downtown Toronto. It's Lake Ontario. Has like hundreds of courts available for public use and. A lot of people participate and it's great and it works a lot with indoor because indoor is pretty big all over Canada, so people use it to supplement that training, but I think some people will just like, actually I think I like this better and like stick around. And I think with the teams doing so much better and kind of having our name more on a world stage, now people are meeting us and seeing how well and kind of realizing that Canada can be a force to be reckoned with in a summer sport, which is something that you kind of have to accept first before you can even imagine it for yourself. So I think that dream is becoming more of a reality. And I've met so many young kids that have been following from all over the country, which has been really inspiring for me, but also really glad that it's inspiring other people. Yeah.
It's really cool. Me and Troy were just looking at the FIVB awards from the past. Or actually, they just had like a list from like all of them.
Yeah.
And Canada's just cleaning up the defensive awards.
Yeah.
You and Sarah have won 3 of the past 4 best blockers, and then Heather's just dominating the best defender award, just cleaning up.
Right.
Defense.
Mel got best setter last year.
Dang.
So, yeah.
And then I'm sure that the McNamara's will probably be popping up here pretty soon.
Yeah.
I would imagine one of them will win a Rookie of the Year at some point. I don't even know how
I don't know how
at what
rookie
point
works.
you're a rookie because like Anders was.
How do they choose? How do they know which one to pick?
Well, I know it in college. Like
gamble.
Nicole always won like all the awards, so they were just like, all right, let's go with the left.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can't go wrong. They're both great.
I'm sure it's probably pretty cool for you though, because you're like in a role where like Canada's still like not like an emerging country in beach volleyball, but like establishing itself as like a power, and like you're like one of the faces of it. I think that's probably kind of a cool thing.
I've literally never even thought about it like that until you said that. I was like, I'm so happy for Canada. And I'm like,
pressure's on. Wow, they sound like they're doing great.
Wow, I'm so stoked. I'm just like, yeah, for sure. Oh my gosh, yeah. I still don't believe it, clearly. I still feel like I have so much to learn. But yeah, no, it's pretty cool.
It's like your response to that is similar to how your partner responded, Sarah, when I remember maybe last year or 2 years ago when like a girl came up and was like, I have like a Mizuno poster of you in like my bedroom and like, can you sign this? And Sarah was like, there's no way you have my poster like on your bedroom. And she was like, dumbfounded that like she was now in that position, whereas like she had Missy and Carrie, like in her room growing up, and now like she's that person. It's funny to see like when people realize like, wow, like I'm in like a really cool position to like inspire people.
Yeah, you're just waking everybody up. That's a dream of mine for sure. I definitely looked up to players like Heather and Sarah and Carrie and Misty and all these strong women that have just consistently done well, and I think that's probably why I'm a little hesitant. Like I haven't proven myself consistently, which I think is really the epitome of being the best. I think I've proven that I can get there. But that's my goal, is to be consistent, and like watching these people just dominate and seeing that it can be done. And it's like, well, I want to do that. So maybe once I'm there, I'll accept it. But I mean, I probably still won't. I don't know. But it's cool to have those people to look up to. And like you said, have other people look up to me.
Does it seem like as much of a challenge? Like, you know how it seems like probably when you're in the beginning, you just wanted to make the world tour or whatever, but now you're getting best blocker in the world and winning tournaments. Actually, does it seem like it's as big of a step to become that consistently top player, you know, from rather than just touching it, like I'm top every once in a while, but to win multiple tournaments in a row, that kind of thing, does that kind of feel like as much of a challenge as it was just to get there?
I think it's totally different. I feel like, not that getting there was a breeze, but being
in hindsight, it probably was. But
I guess, you're quick. There like easy breezy, like, okay, I'm just going for it. Like no expectations. It's not like you've done this before, and you just know you have to put your head down and work hard. And now it's like, put your head down, work hard, and don't get in your own way, and see what everyone's doing, and adapt and change, and be mindful and be the vet that you are, and whatever. So it's been this year's been the toughest year for me, for sure. I've learned so much. I've grown so much, more than anything I learned last year. And we finished number 1 in the world, and I feel like I've learned way more this year. So, definitely a different toughness. Yeah.
I'm trying to learn that too. Last time I won a tournament was a while. Oh no, I guess we won a 3-star, but it doesn't count.
Right.
It's like first tournament back after 2 years.
Right.
Well, my goal is to win multiple in a row, and it hasn't happened in a while. So I'm in that boat though. Like I want to take that next step. I've tasted it. Now I want it even more.
But then you have like Anders and Christian. You're like, oh, it's super.
Right, and then these kids come out and they just like do it. I'm like, you punks.
How are you? I'm like, we're just watching this from the sideline as the women, but I'm like, I don't know how the men feel about this. Like, do you just kind of like,
and they're just so innocent. They're just like innocent. I know. Hey guys, like, want to have lunch?
Just such nice.
Like,
no,
screw you.
Fine.
Swear at me. Like, quit being
one
nice.
More time, Anders.
Friggin' backflip guy. What friggin' 6'8" guy can backflip like that out of sand? Like,
I love
look how athletic I am.
I love that Christian just accepts it and rolls.
Yeah.
He just does the roll.
He's all quiet and just smiling on the side. Like,
I'm just here.
I'm getting rich. My bank account looks great. Oh man.
I know.
It is crazy that like how consistently they're winning. But you and Heather, like at the end of last year, like you were that team on the women's side. I mean, you had like 4 or 5 tournaments in a row that you were either winning or in the finals.
Yeah, that was pretty crazy. Very awesome experience, and I think every time I just remembered when I was in qualifier and watching people win a tournament and like losing their minds and crying and just being so excited. I mean, I'm sure because the prize money was way better, but also it's a huge honor. And so for me to having, found my rhythm and also being respected by other players and taken seriously, and also being very supported. I never felt so loved and supported by my fellow competitors. I built really strong relationships with them, and to win and still have someone be happy for you and you just beat them was awesome. And I think that's what I got out of last year the most. Obviously the winning and Heather and I's relationship, my relationship with the other women that I look up to.
Yeah. That's awesome. It's such an interesting thing because everybody travels together. Like,
Right.
you see the same faces over and over again. It's like, you almost have to be friends at some point.
Yeah.
Even though you're competing for, like, really, for, like, to make a living, for medals, for an Olympic spot. And it's cool that, like, beach volleyball players still can have that super tight community, because I think part of it is because, like, it is such a struggle for a lot of people because, like you said, there isn't a ton of money even when you win a tournament. So I think it's fun to watch, like, how close the community gets, like, even through language barriers and whatever it may be.
Yeah. It's so important, though, to show that, especially with women. It's so shown that you always against each other. You can't like each other. You can't be empowering each other if you're going for the same thing. So to show that in sport, playing a sport where it's equal pay and equal limelight, and then to show that the women are strong and the men are also, you guys show so much like fair play and good sportsmanship, whether it's joking with each other or even on social media. I see it all the time. It's like, oh, we're playing against our friends, like they did really well and we did better, or they whatever, you know, like it's a camaraderie that I think a lot of sports should look to doing, you know, and teaching.
Totally, for sure. So the Grimalts wished you a happy recovery.
Yeah, I know a bunch of players actually. And well, even when I came back, it was actually really cool when I came back on tour and people hadn't seen me for like a year and a half, 2 years. I got a lot of hugs and like I was like, oh, I never thought about that. Like that people would be like happy to see me back on tour, or like, you know, just happy for me to be back. That was pretty cool. Yeah, I think it is rare in our sport. Like we really have to grind because it's a growing sport. It's like the landscape of our sport is changing every year. Obviously, we always compare ourselves to the next best thing. So like all these elite, you know, sports that people are making millions and millions. But I mean, I think we underestimate the value in like the lessons and the hardships that we have to go through in our sport, because we're very much taking care of ourselves in every way, where we don't have a travel agent's doing everything, like the team's doing everything. Just show up and play volleyball or play basketball. If you play basketball, right, just like don't worry about anything. If something needs to be done outside, pay them to do it, right? And they just get on their private jet and just get to the next game. Whereas we learn all these life skills, we have to figure out how to compete against people, but also get along with them, or else we're gonna go crazy. You can't be stressed out and like have all this negativity towards people for 365 days a year, you know?
Totally.
So I think we get a lot of value in that sense, like in terms of the rest of our lives. Not many of us are gonna be able to play past 40. Except for Hayden will play when he's 60.
Hayden and Jake.
And Ricardo.
And Ricardo. And
still doing it.
I don't know. They're pushing the bar, but I might call it at 40, hopefully. But I mean, there's a lot to gain from it, you know, the hardships. I mean, I've learned that the hard way.
Yeah. And I have so much respect for Canadian beach volleyball players, because you guys don't have a domestic tour, so you're going to make it like, you got to go out to the One Stars and the Norsecas, and like just looking at like Will's BVB when he was playing Hermosa, I was like, holy cow! Like, I'm so spoiled that I get to just travel to Seattle and come back if I lose, rather than like to
He was in
Qingdao.
like Philippines, China, Cambodia. I'm like, oh my gosh, that's intense.
That's one thing I like. You know, we always want to complain about what we have, blah blah blah. Every once in a while, us American players are complaining about like what USA Volleyball is doing for us naturally, and then we like
what they're not doing.
And then like a Canadian player walks by while we're doing this, and they're like, "What are you complaining about?" Because you guys did not have great support for a while, and the sponsor situation. We don't have to get into it, but we've heard plenty of it, especially from like Cam before he switched over.
Oh my gosh, Cam would be the perfect guy.
Cam,
He switched over. That's how bad it was.
Now he can talk freely about it.
Exactly.
But I mean, we're definitely one of the best federations in terms of being taken care of. So
I mean, it shows you have such a deep talent pool and such an awesome tour that, I mean, it's not going to waste. That's for sure.
Right. For sure.
I'm glad to have you back on that tour too.
Thank you.
I'm sure. Is the Manhattan one of your favorite events to play?
Oh my gosh, I get to play so little. I just like keep them all so close. But no, Manhattan is so special, I think, because it's special for everyone else. And then the last time we played, like getting to be in the finals. Like, that's insane. And you could feel the energy and the importance of it. It was really an honor.
It's the only tournament where your name actually like gets cemented into something.
It's so insane.
That you like actually see, you know, like engraved on a trophy, great, but who the hell has that trophy and where is it? Most of the beach volleyball world in the U.S. lives here in this town. They walk on that pier, so like forever you get to walk down that pier and be like, boom, right there.
Yeah. Your record in AVPs is solid too. Like you played New York and were in the finals, right, with Nicole?
Yeah.
Manhattan, you're in the finals with Nicole.
Yeah. She's a beast. You know, like we grinded through that losers bracket or contenders.
It's politically correct.
Oh wow! Yeah. We don't have to be that nice.
Worse. I know. I just dropped an F-bomb. Contenders bracket.
Losers.
There are no losers.
That's the one we'll bleep out.
She didn't mean it. So that was a hard lesson to welcome to the AVP. Like, here's 19 games, and then you'll make it to the finals. But I loved it. I feel like it was kind of my initiation, and I hope people are getting used to me being on there. I still feel like, the Canadian, but take the jokes all day. I'll take them all day. But I feel just as honored to play as anyone else. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Well, if somebody doesn't play against you, I'm stoked to have you back on. That's great.
Yeah, we love it. It's great. Just don't tell the guys. We don't want any of those international guys coming.
Grant, Ben, they can stay in Canada.
Yeah, exactly.
I see you looking at those green cards.
Yeah, forget about it.
It was funny because Grant O'Gorman played in Seaside, which I don't know if you've seen that event at all. It's a super fun one, though.
Yeah, I've seen some.
And I was like, wait, this is an AVP. Like, you're not allowed.
Yeah, get out of here.
Because the way that the seeding worked, like originally, I was supposed to play in first round. So damn, that's a tough one to have first round.
Yeah.
That's annoying.
But then it got, they like reseeded everything.
Okay.
So I got to stay away from it.
Yeah. It was meant to be for you. Good job. It's friendly competition.
Yeah. How long are you in town for before you're back off traveling the world again?
So unfortunately I'm just here until Monday.
Okay.
Which is longer than I usually am for AVPs. I always just like run out and never get to enjoy some of the after festivities or just hanging out with friends. So
you're planning on shellbacks and Sharks Cove afterwards, right?
Wherever the people take me.
Wherever it goes.
Or just, anything. But Monday and then back in Toronto for a couple weeks and then have Rome, which it's going to be super fun. I've never been to Italy. Kind of feels like a country I should have been to already.
We were close in Croatia.
And living in Switzerland, it speaks Italian because we're so close.
Yeah, really?
Yeah, I've never been. But Joy from the Netherlands, her and I are sharing an Airbnb after the tournament to enjoy some of it, and I'm really looking forward to that trip.
It'll be fun.
Are you guys planning on anything after Rome? Or are you going to call it a year?
No, we're looking at that Olympic qualifier.
Oh, right.
China.
What is that? Exactly.
Yeah, brand new event. But
you don't get any points or prize money.
Yeah, but
like the winners get
the repool
Olympic
kind of
bull. Oh, bid. What did I say? Bull.
I think you went between birth and bid and
pool. Birth and bid and pool.
So if you make it to the finals, then you get
just the finals.
Yeah, first or second.
Oh, okay.
All right, first or second. Okay.
And for Canada, it's good. I know the U.S. isn't sending anyone.
Because we have our own rules.
Yeah.
And if you win it, you don't get the bid
exactly,
anyway.
Which is the same with every country, I think. You don't technically the team doesn't technically get the berth, but within our Volleyball Canada Federation, they've added a rule that if you're the team that wins, you get it automatically.
Okay.
They will give it to you.
And Sarah and Melissa, so they get their world champs.
Yeah, they
Olympic
get their
berth.
world champs.
So there's really one spot available.
Exactly. Yeah.
So that makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it makes sense.
But countries that have two teams, like there's a lot of countries that only have two teams.
Yes.
So or one.
Yeah.
Like if Chile wins this event, they're the team.
Yeah.
Whether it's their federation's rule or not.
Exactly.
Right?
Yes.
Yeah.
So it's for sure worth it for them. For us, it's like we'd be getting the U.S. an automatic bid.
Exactly. And you're like,
we're planning on qualifying probably 3 teams anyway.
Yes.
So it doesn't
make any sense at all.
China.
So like, what happens if like a team, I don't know, like Brazil's 5th team wins that thing?
I don't think Brazil will give it to them.
Well,
right?
I don't even know if Brazil's going to go. Like, they have their own cutoff.
Yeah, their cutoff is at the end of this year. They're like in the heat of it right now.
No, before the end of this. I feel like it's at the end of this
like
next
maybe
month.
Rome,
Or Rome or...
Not even Mexico?
I don't know if
well, because technically, is China... You know how the next year starts this year, which doesn't make any sense to me?
Yeah.
Yes.
Is that China? Is Rome the last event of 2019?
Yeah, is like that Chetumal tournament part
Mexico's
of next year?
Still this year.
But that's like in November.
No, Mexico's next year.
I don't know. I thought it was this year because it's...
You might be right.
And then it's in November. But last year...
Because like Vegas counted
and Vegas and Mexico last year counted this year.
Yeah, which is bizarre.
And it was earlier.
I don't know what calendar they're going by.
Dude, I don't know about our sport.
I don't know.
Can we just have like one page
calendar,
that just says
anything, website. I don't know what they're doing on any of those.
Their website is like the beach volleyball like Craigslist. It's like there's information on here, but no one. It hasn't been updated since '95. No one knows like how to get through it.
You gotta find it yourself.
They're not use like the OG website for our schedules because we're like we can't read any of this.
It's not that hard to make a good.
Like it looks cute, but I need information now.
It looks cute. Great aesthetics. I'm gonna look it up.
Yeah, this season's like almost finished though because you have a little bit of a break until Rome, and then after Rome you get to shut it down for a little bit, right?
Yeah, and we play the China, which will be kind of like a week and a half after.
Okay, so it's really after China that you get to.
After China, we'll kind of shut it down before Mexico.
Okay.
Which was an awesome tournament last year.
Which it looked crazy. Like watching the videos on YouTube, like the stadium was mobbed.
Yeah, and so was like the outside of it. So was any practice court. Anytime a player was on the sand, there was a mob. Like,
that's awesome.
I love Mexico. Playing on Norsecas, the fans are...
Fans love...
Nuts.
Mexican fans love beach volleyball.
Yeah.
Like we played the one in La Paz.
La Paz is the best.
It was insane.
Yeah.
It's like, wait, this whole town literally just shut down for this little Norseca and they're treating us like we were Olympians. Yeah. I felt almost bad. I was like, we're not like the real players.
I know. When I was playing with Julie, we won. Yeah, for real. They took us out for dinner after the tournament. They got us pedicures, manicures. We're like, oh, this is way better than a trophy. It was the best. They treat you like
so according to the website, there's no 2020 events yet. So everything's 2023.
Still this year.
But that's according to the website.
I mean,
we know that.
You never know.
Website. I just want to make my own website and just write everything that I know. Here's basically all you need to know. Just look at this one page.
Yeah. Don't bother
simplify
with
it for you.
the John notes. You don't get money in China. The details people need to know.
Exactly. Or we should just do an episode on updating people every month or so.
Yeah.
Here's actually what's happening.
That's what people always ask me about the Olympic standings. They're like, I don't know what any of this means. Can you break it down? I'm like, why is this team ranked 3 in the world but 15th in the Olympic rankings?
Yeah.
Right.
All right.
Yeah.
My dad was asking me the other day.
You guys should clear that up. I feel like nobody understands.
Well, because they have the rankings now, and if you hit 12 events, only 10 teams have hit it.
Yeah.
They have the Olympic rings next to their name, and it's China 5 team and random.
Yeah.
My dad's like, how are these guys going to the Olympics?
Yeah.
How did they get the bid?
Everyone's on edge.
I'm like, I don't know.
And Sarah and Mel, the only team who actually have the bid, don't have the Olympic rings next to them.
They don't.
Yeah. It's insane.
I haven't even looked at that because I'm like, this is nonsense. It's just
there's no point in looking at it.
a million times.
Yeah.
And,
that's the problem. Me and Trevor in pretty good position. We've also played more events.
Yeah.
And even today, this morning on the Strand, the guy's biking by. Dude, you guys are killing it. Looks like you're going to the Olympics. I'm like, let's not even go there. Dude, we got such a long road to go.
Yeah.
But, and I don't want to explain it to you, but thanks.
It's like calculus.
I'm not whatever you say, counting my chickens yet.
Yeah.
Something like that.
What is that saying?
Yeah, what is it, Travis?
Don't
you grew up on a farm.
There you go.
Don't count your chickens before they hatch.
That's where I get really ESL is I may mess up staying. So we'll be like, that wasn't it.
You missed.
You missed. It's
There's 50% of shots you don't take.
Exactly. I'm so bad with them.
That reminds me of like Michael Scott when he was like, "I'm not superstitious. I'm just a
little
stitious."
Just a
like
little.
saying like that.
I love that.
That's why I got Travis around, though. I just, like, when it comes to grammar or something, what did I say? What's that word? I just look at him. If he wasn't on the podcast, it'd be a complete shit show.
Your website's going to turn out great.
Yeah, right. I'll have him proofread. Don't worry, people. I'm not going to just send you there with my raw writing.
You did write the foreword for the book.
I did.
Which is great.
I mean, I had you look at it.
Yeah.
I did look at it.
I hope
You
so.
gave me some tips. Let's just say that. Wasn't just gonna ruin your book right from the
First page.
right from the get go.
We've kept you here for a while. Is there anything that you wanted to bring up or talk about before we let you get to that Manhattan Beach Open right outside?
Well,
Just gonna hop out the window.
I believe
if you
this
don't mind.
episode is gonna come out the Wednesday after.
Okay.
So
True.
if you want to speak from the future, the past, no, you may or may not have already won the Manhattan Open at this point while people are listening to this. I don't know what you're supposed to say to that.
I know it's like, I feel like I'm too
wow.
like.
So what happened?
That was great.
Are you stitious or?
I am stitious. I am a little.
stitious.
I'm just a little stitious.
A little stitious about that, so I'm just gonna.
No, I'm definitely not super stitious. I genuinely thank you guys for having me. It's been awesome to watch
Thanks
you
for
guys
coming on
grow.
and during your rare time in the U.S. We appreciate it.
Oh my
Yeah.
gosh, yeah, anytime. Thank you.
We do have one question that we ask all of our guests before we let them go. If you had to give one piece of advice to an up-and-coming beach volleyball player, what would that piece of advice be?
I would just encourage them to take risks. Because you'll surprise yourself, for sure.
Like
Keep
that.
it simple.
Simple.
Love it.
Yeah.
Perfect. We should put that on the chalkboard.
Take risks or keep it simple?
Both.
Or both.
I mean, there's two lines
Keep it
there.
simple, take risks.
Right. Love it.
Well, thanks again for coming on, Brandie. Good luck in Manhattan. I will see you on Friday.
Yeah,
Thanks,
see you
Brandie.
guys. Thank you.
Shoots.